To be
and you cut lawns in Wisconsin 25 to 28 times a season. We get that wonderful long fall, and the grass doesn't stop growing because you left the island. So,
but what a difference between then and now. The people you hire, the whole dynamic of what it's like to be.
It's really become an interesting program.
And everybody talks about it. I mean, they all see who's doing the work, and they're all wondering, why don't native-born Americans do it? Why are we hiring all these immigrant people to do it?
Well, the labor force issues on Nantucket are significant. The housing issues have caused at least 11% departure of individuals. The boats are full of daily trippers.
Yeah, they are.
And all of the industries on Nantucket are suffering from a lack of people to work for them, from the town, the police force, the fire departments, that provide all this wonderful services for us, as well as all of the tradesmen.
Sure.
Everybody is working really hard and trying to make a living on Nantucket. You need help.
Right.
And that one-off person on a single team, it's a tough job. 56% of the staff that I have are people from away.
Yeah.
But I want to say that I only have 4 natives working for me.
Okay.
Everybody else is a wash ashore.
Isn't that?
Everybody else. And this is what Nantucket is. It's a transient community.
Sure.
People move here and they love it and they stay if they can.
The way the island has changed, the way we landscape, the green lawns, the fertilizer, we got to talk about that. In the old days, you just poured the fertilizer on, you made it whatever it did, what you could. What are your thoughts on where we're going and what we need to be doing in the future?
Well, certainly best practices are the most important factor.
I mean, we really have to look at, eventually, Marty, if we're looking 100 years from now, let's just say 100 years from now, we can't be using chemicals, can we? In 100 years?
Well, as you know, I own Pumpkin Pine Farm, which is the
that's
only
what I'm saying. You've got this
organic farm here.
Yeah, exactly. You got an organic farm, and then you're a landscaper on top of that. So,
and you are not allowed to mix the two.
Right.
And so we have the mentality of green lawn, and lawn is the biggest crop in America. People don't think about it, but
no, I don't think of it as a crop,
the largest crop in America is turf. Mm-hmm. And in Nantucket, you'd think the second largest one would be hydrangeas.
You would.
But what's really happening here with our community and smart practices is what has to be focused on. And it's really about the owners. I keep my owners informed about how we're doing the right thing for the aquifer.
And what does that mean?
Well, first of all, you're only allowed to put on, the recent study was 3 pounds of nitrogen a year for a lawn. And I've worked in different communities around the country and have a lot of landscapers that I've known, and we work at different levels. And these professionals are fantastic to keep in communication with. And one of the things that they do is they talk about how to make a yard look great and satisfactory for the owner, while at the same time actually not creating too much work for the landscaper. Because the more work that you create, the more you have to do.
Yeah, and it costs them more. And
it costs the client more. They're only here, 6 weeks a year,
exactly.
10 weeks, 16 weeks tops.
Sure.
So there's a consideration about management. So fertilizer management, really important. Many people don't understand the way that fertilizer works. It's really simple to understand once you gather it. If you use a soft fertilizer, an organic fertilizer that contact with the ground and water.
Is there such a thing as an organic fertilizer?
Oh, sure.
But it's still...
It's, well,
is it
everything's
dangerous?
processed.
I mean, yeah.
Everything's processed. No, the only time the fertilizers, in my opinion, are dangerous are... pause. This road's a mess. It will be going.
That's okay, that's okay.
Okay. So the only thing that's important about knowing how to use your fertilizer is to use it smartly. And what that means is, if you know what your plant needs are, and you grow a healthy plant, you're creating an entire healthy environment for the island. There are plants that don't need fertilizer, actually don't want it, don't like it.
Yeah.
So you could take a garden and build a garden out of plants that are not needy. You can install turf that is not needy. And each time, those are decisions where the client drives that decision for success and for the health of the island.
Okay, now that's a good, I'm glad you brought that up, because to me, if I had you do something for me, I would tell you that I don't want to use any kind of fertilizer at all. And what could you make for me? What kind of a setting could I have? And is that something that people are asking you to do today, in this day and age where the environment is so important?
They are asking for that, but they always have it with the caveat.
Yeah.
Let's say that you want hydrangeas. Okay, so hydrangeas, it's about being in the right spot.
Yeah, hydrangeas really need fertilizer, don't they?
They don't.
They don't?
They don't. What they need is the right spot.
I see.
And then they need patience by the owner. Meaning, hydrangeas like to face northeast. So when you get up in the morning and you see the sun coming into your yard, that's the side of your house you want to put a hydrangea on. Now it's on the right side of the house to start. It loves afternoon shade. Then let's say that its first word is hydra, and meaning water. So if you can put a hydrangea with a gutter pipe spilling onto the bottom of it,
yeah, right,
it's going to be fantastic. It's going to grow like mad. If there's a wisteria there, it's going to eat your house. So now you've given it water, you've given it an exposure it wants, and then you can do organic composting for your lawn, for your gardens, and the results are fantastic. They're healthy, they're strong. Most of the hedges on Nantucket, the privet hedges that are having problems, are overwatered. And then when they start to look pale or unhappy, people fertilize them and turn the water up. The plant could care less about water. So knowing your plant material and understanding its preferences allows you to make an extremely healthy choices. If I have a wet yard and I planted clethra, which grows all along the side of Myacomet Pond, I can have a really successful clethra crop, and I can have flowers all of August.
Yeah.
Wonderful branching for winter, and interesting structure, and it smells fantastic. So now I can have fragrance, I can have flowers. It's in August when, a lot of plants have burned up, and all I did was make the right choice of the right plant in the right place with the environment. So,
but you work for the client.
Oh yeah.
Do you? If a client says my lawn is not green enough, if it's not green enough, it needs more fertilizer to make it that color.
Not necessarily.
When I see a green lawn, I'm not looking at fertilizer.
In general, you are.
Yeah.
In general, you drive down the street, you see a dark green lawn, you're looking at fertilizer.
Yeah.
Now, you can keep a lawn green without over-fertilizing it. You can keep a lawn green without creating an environmental hazard.
Do you think
actually make a healthy lawn? It filters better and it does a great job.
Go this way or that way?
That way.
Do you encourage clients not to do that? I mean, do you want your name on a lawn that is absolutely dark green?
I get paid for beautiful properties. There's no mystery about this.
What about the dark green?
And so you see my lawn right here at the farm is green, right?
Well,
there is no fertilizer put on this grass.
No.
Okay, this grass only gets organic compost applied to it at the correct time.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at, Marty, is do landscapers, and this is going to be an issue in the future, should landscapers be the sentinels, the guys that are out front that say, we have got to protect the island in whatever way we can by ensuring that we encourage our clients not to use fertilizer? Okay,
I'm going to answer that in a different way. Nantucket has perhaps over 250 landscapers.
Is that what they have?
Yeah. And so the real issue for this is who's hiring them and what does the owner require? What is the commitment that owner says? But that's for everything. The rule of my property. I agree. So whether you're on the harbor, over the aquifer, or off of the aquifer, how can you make a difference that you're comfortable with? If you have a well on your property, what are they putting down? Yeah. You should know. It's really up to the client to lead that reality charge. So you have to, but when they come to you, you have to educate them. Oh, and I do that. I spend a lot of time educating the clients to what it is they want and educating them to the fact that I want to do the right thing for the harbor. I want to do the right thing for Nantucket. Yeah. That I want to go clamming. Okay. Of course you do. We all do. And but what if the town starts to restrict you, or if there's a enforcing person involved and they go around and they check the lawns? Is that going to be a problem for you? No, it's not a problem for me. I already do soil testing every year, and on every single property in both the gardens and on the turf. Yeah. To maintain a healthy environment for my trees, shrubs, everything. And then the other thing that I do is I'm a licensed applicator, so I'm licensed with the state, and so I don't know that I know more about it than other people, but I'm very, very thoughtful about it. And one of the things that I do is engage with professionals. When there's a challenge in your property, many times it's not what it might appear to be. If your yard is yellow or your trees are, feel runty or stunted, many times it's an irrigation issue. It's a soil compaction issue. There are so many things that contribute to a successful landscape, but the most important one for a wonderful yard and a beautiful garden is that you have consistent, regular care. Let me ask you about the organic farm. Yep. Why did you do that? Why did you decide that you wanted an organic farm? I mean, you already had a landscaping business. Well, I originally went to the family that owned the farm and asked them if I could lease an acre. You just wanted to try to grow? I just wanted a little land to put some trees and, just a little land, what they call flat space. Yeah. And after a period of time and conversation, the idea came up that the farm was for sale, but not the acre. So we struck a deal, which was great, and so we worked forward, diligently to meet all the responsibilities. But it wasn't organic at the beginning, right? You had to make it organic. Right. Is that hard to do? It takes 3 years to do a certified organic farm. I see. And soil testing. I hired scientists to monitor the progress. Do you have to bring in organic soil too? No. You don't take anything out? No, you don't have to. You have to monitor the entire area. So we took the entire 10 acres of farm. We took 7.2 acres of it and deemed it, quote, tillable turf. I went and got a farm permit from the federal government, and then and from the state, and then began to meet all of the requirements necessary to get the certification. And every year they inspect us. So why did you choose, instead of, you got the land, why not just use it for
more landscaping storage?
I guess it's growing.
Growing, your
growing
passion
meaning
for
aging. Well, first, as I said earlier, my grandfather, who helped raise me, had a farm, and we had vineyards and orchards and watermelon patches and vegetables, and we did a lot of things, and that was really fun. And then I took to the point where I had this 10 acres of land, and I thought, well, I'll build a farm. And so I love a project, absolutely adore a project. And so I took it upon myself to build the organic farm. And I really felt that there was a need in Nantucket for this healthy food program. I really thought that this is what we should have, and mostly it was a little bit spurred on because of friends getting cancer, and my feeling, having taken nutrition and understanding that I could help people by giving them a great diet to eat, and that we all needed to have this great diet to control things. So
It started as vegetables, but it's grown into flowers too.
Well, we do both the flowers, yeah. The flower business is something that I'm very passionate about, and to be honest, I find vegetables like flowers ornamental and gorgeous. And I've been incorporating, really going back to that early garden. I mean, if in the 1800s when you were here on Nantucket, if you had a flower in your garden, you were, if you were a Quaker, you were pretty much, a very fancy person.
I see.
Because you cannot eat that flower.
Right. Right.
So what the heck are you growing?
Yeah, exactly.
So
why waste your time on a flower when you need vegetables?
So this is where we really need it.
Sure.
The families were being fed, and if you look at the old photos of the families on Nantucket, that is the way that they lived. And I find it really attractive. I actually long for the day when I have the opportunity to stay on the farm a little bit more.
That what I was going to ask you?
Yeah, well,
you mean like hang out there more and
hang
make
out
that
there
more of your area?
Well, I've got a great team. They do a fantastic job.
I mean, I was going to ask you.
And I can't.
You don't want to retire? You
I have
can't
no
even
interest.
No interest.
No interest in retiring. I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I find it exciting, and And I find that the passion that I have for the organic farm, as well as for the flowers and the landscaping, I find it growing and interesting. Look at the contemporary development of landscape design that's been coming on.
I know.
And the organization. There's that little part going on right now where everybody's worried about a pool.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
What do you think about that?
Well, I think that, personally, if you want a pool, you should have it. I don't believe in the zoning approach to this pool situation.
No.
I feel that it's an inappropriate approach. If people want to limit the size of a house somewhere, then they should be actually focused on that house in that spot. Not
but if they, I think,
in other words, not something's in the lawn.
And maybe I'm wrong, but aren't they trying to zone the property so that, let's say you build your house and maybe you want to build a second dwelling, but the pool would represent space on that lot,
right,
where you couldn't build that second dwelling because you put the pool in.
Right.
That's fair enough, though, right? Or no?
No, not necessarily. I mean, now picture yourself as you bought a house a couple of years ago, and you've always wanted, a second dwelling or something for your tertiary dwelling, which were allowed for our grandmothers or anything that. So if I had a pool on my lot, I can't have a house for my grandmother because I bought a house with a pool on it.
Yeah, right.
All of a sudden, I'm a victim of rezoning.
Yep.
I don't find that fair. I don't even find it the Nantucket way that people should be treating each other.
Mm-hmm.
This is not how people, when you come to Nantucket, you come here to be in this place and not to be told that your pool does not ruin this place, your lawn does not ruin this place, and your house.
Yeah. By the way, do you have a pool?
I don't.
Okay, buddy, I got to run. That was fun, Marty.
Yeah.
All right.
Good show.
It was good.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Don't work too hard now. All right.
Take raisin.
Yep. Yeah, I won't take her. Oh,
Come on, boy.
see you later, Marty.